When do we want it? Now! When do we want justice? When do we want it? Now! When do we want justice? When do we want it? Now! When do we want justice?
So I represent Pittsburgh chapter of the National Black United Front. We're out here showing solidarity with the Alliance for Police Accountability, the Pittsburgh for Trayvon movement, for the Sisters of New Voices. You know, we're going to be out here every single time. Not only that, but we're going back and we're planning medium and long-term strategies that the community can implement so we can make sure that our people stay safe, that we can grow and develop our communities and make them into what we want them to be.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other.
We must love each other.
And support each other.
And support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
That is a quote from Assata Shakur.
I'm here for every reason there's injustice. That's what I'm here for. This Trayvon Martin issue is way bigger than that. Once we understand that, then we can start working on this problem together.
Let's talk about this inner city violence that's going on and the lack of young people seeing their worth and their value.
Well, it's generational. You know, when you neglect the community, when you neglect young people, when you neglect what's going wrong in this society for generations, they don't know any different. So that's all they know. What we're showing them right now is all they know until we show them something different.
How do you feel about this situation and how do you explain it to your children?
It's demoralizing. The way that I actually explain it to my son is that we still got a whole lot of work to do. We have to get to a place where we become frustrated. But for the civil rights of us to live in unity and get equal right to justice. He needs to understand it. I hope that you we can do this will give George Miles.
Absolutely.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
I've come here today because I could not stay away.
Come on now.
Hey.
I've come here for two reasons. First, I'm going to talk to black folks.
All right.
You need to get your act together now.
Hey.
Not tomorrow, not yesterday, now. I bring you information from the nation's capital. I bring you information from government. I bring you information from Africa. I bring you information from the world. Nobody cares about you black folks. You are not on the map anymore. I was told that yesterday by a leading college here in the city.
Wow.
You need to get your act together now. Now what does that mean? That means you gotta put away your differences. You gotta stop rolling your eyes at each other. You gotta stop not helping each other on the job. You gotta stop not helping each other in your community. You need to turn to each other. Let's say it now. And what you gonna do about it?
Stand our ground.
We will
Stand our ground.
We will
Stand our ground.
We will
Stand our ground.
My name is Dana, and I think that at this time, the oppressions that have been internalized by many people of color, all people of color in this country, and all of us white people, it is time for us to recognize that we are all participating in a white supremacist system, and that the system itself is violence against all people, violent against all people.
Why would you care?
What's happening? Because if white people don't care, then nothing will ever change.
And you know, I just had to go back and take it back and just rewind to the beginning of the whole court case. And you know, the case was a joke, so I thought it was very fitting that that foolish defense attorney started it with a joke. Because it ended with a bigger joke than that. So I started like this. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
George Zimmerman.
Shoot him.
George Zimmerman, who got away with murder, who was profiled for his skin color and the way he dressed, who had the nerve to wear a hoodie in the rain no less, who was riding, who was walking, who called what on who was just on the phone talking, who was scared, who was brave, who is the master, who was the slave,
Hey.
who was the man, who was the boy, who plays with guns, who played with toys,
Hey.
who is the privileged, who is the poor, who left the crib armed, who was just going to the store,
Hey!
who was skinny, who was fat, who said, are you following him? We don't need you to do that.
Hey!
Who said he was being followed by a creepy ass cracker that day? Who said these fucking coons, they always get away?
Hey!
Who said, why are you following me? Who had the power to end it right there? Who failed to identify himself? Who had no DNA on his hands, not even a hair?
Hey!
Who ran? Who chased? Who punched who in the face? Who chased down who on a dark, wet night? Who started the fight? Who scared for their life? Who the one with the gun? Or the one with the Skittles and iced tea? Who started the fight? Who was the aggressor? Who was the victim? Who was the oppressor? Who had the right to stand their ground? Who had the right to ground and pound? Who was on bottom? Who was on top? Who the one that did the shooting? Who the hell got shot? Who had on black? Who had on red? Who was alive? Who the one dead? Who had injuries that did not require going to the hospital? Who had injuries that sent them to the morgue? Who had what in their system? Who was never even tested by the system? Who was the adult? Who was the child? Who's in denial? Who was on trial?
Hey!
Who cares about the life of a black boy and man who was laying on the ground that he could never even stand?
Hey!
Who, what, when, where, why? Who gave Trayvon Martin the right to remain silent? Who let a child murderer walk with the right to remain violent? Knock, knock, who's not there?
Trayvon.
Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin who? Trayvon Martin, who was profiled, stalked, criminalized, chased down, shot and killed by George Zimmerman.
It may be a little late for Trayvon's parents, but we still have a chance for justice for all. For justice for Jordan Miles here in the city of Pittsburgh. If we stand together as one people, and we stand against the powers that be and say we will not stand for our children being beaten by police officers.
Speak on it, brother.
My name is Jasiri X, MC activist. We're in front of the federal building, participating in the Justice for Trayvon rallies that's going on in 100 cities, all over the country. And I would just encourage everybody to keep the pressure up, keep organizing. I mean, we saw, we organized and we did so much, we put so much pressure that we really almost forced President Obama's hand, to speak on, what happened with Trayvon and how our community feels. So let's keep pushing. I mean, over 1 million people already signed the NAACP's petition for federal charge on George Zimmerman. So let's keep pushing, let's organize, not just for this moment, but let's make sure that months from now, we're still organizing to make sure that what happened to Trayvon will never happen again.
At some point, maybe hip-hop artists can take.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we saw a couple hip-hop artists do songs, and shout out to them, man. Plies, Jeezy, They said, shout out to those artists that Wyclef did a song for Trayvon, Willie D. Scarface, but at the same time, what we can't do is continue making music that dehumanizes and criminalizes young black people, because then you're complicit in the death of Trayvon and the death of black youth.
Say now, justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! You want to know how messed up the system is?
Tell us!
Imagine if Trayvon killed George Zimmerman. Woo! You think Trayvon will be found innocent?
No!
Man, he do a lifetime of imprisonment.
Right.
See, stand your ground only works if you're a citizen, and that right isn't his. Only whites benefit. We are not legitimate. That fact's definitive. Don't believe? Ask Marissa Alexander if it is. To protect herself in her own home with the kids fired a warning shot and got a 20-year sentence. And that's ridiculous, but all blacks are witnesses of the hatred in this nation that's run by hypocrites. You think the NRA will back Trayvon?
Never.
Would Fox News tell white folks if he gets off, stay calm? We know the truth, so I won't go no further, because Trayvon was found guilty of his own murder.
Also let you know that there will be a march the 24th. Please keep that in your mind. We have about 5 buses coming from Pittsburgh going down to Washington, D.C. You will get the information throughout the course of the rally, but I do want to let you know that you can go on blackconvention.com. That's blackconvention.com. They do have seats available. They're $50 per seat, but they do have scholarships for people that may need them. So if you go on blackconvention.com, that is one organization that is sponsoring a bus. I will have more information for other organizations that are, but that's the first one I wanted to give you.
It says one. Everybody say one. If we can say one voice that says that's what we want, then you know how you evaluate the politician? If that's what we get, God bless you and thank you.